Kia ora, dear listener or viewer. Welcome to Zealand. Now, Zealand is set in a post-apocalyptic world, so it goes without saying that we will be exploring some of the darker natures of humanity. So if you're squeamish or the idea unsettles you, take your chance now to walk away. For now, we return to Zealand.
Kia ora, guys, gals, and legionnaires. Rycon here, and welcome back to Zealand. This is Chapter 3, Part 3, Deadly Wind. In the last, our survivors escaped, making themselves quite the exit. Quite the exit. An explosion that tore through a valley. Very luckily, not injuring anyone that was there. What followed was a chase scene. It was a chase scene. It was something. There were things going on there. There was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of mishaps. A lot of falling over.
It was a team trust exercise.
It was. See, you guys got together when you were as a team, you know? Yeah. However, they weren't exactly a team. They left one person behind. A person that offered a distraction to begin with. Perhaps that distraction saved them, or perhaps it was all for nothing. We won't know. Not until they get back into some form of safety. You've left the trees behind. You're out on the streets, the empty streets, making your way down a dirt path as you start to crest the hill, looking down towards where your boat is, or was. You can't see down there. It's too dark. But you could hear those moans. The rain has stopped at this point, and there is just the wind. But the wind is carrying those moans. And as you all look out down beneath you to the cul-de-sacs and the street ends, because you're in a good perspective right now on top of the hills, in the distance, an almighty boom hits you moments after a flash does.
From where? Which direction?
Coming from down the Whangarei River.
So, coming from inland?
Coming from inland, further down the Whangarei River, essentially in the direction of where you came to get to where you are, there is just this boom, and just this raising orange glow as this huge black cloud starts to separate. And moments afterwards, that's when that just echoes right here. But that flash of orange bright light from the distance illuminated for a moment those cul-de-sacs, those streets beneath you. And in those cul-de-sacs, in those streets, you see people moving, shambling. And as that sound starts to fade, what you at first for is just your eyes playing tricks on you. You see this motion of these crowds of people beneath you starting to move towards this new sense, this new sensation that was given to them. They start to head towards that boom. Still between you and the boat.
Is there any place nearby for us to hide in?
There are many houses. You haven't stayed in any houses along the way, but there's a chance that you might be able to.
What do you guys think? Run it or wait for these guys to pass us by?
I don't know. My father's down there. I can't.
I'd rest a lot easier if I was on the boat and on my way out of here.
That came from the direction came from the refinery direction.
Yeah.
The longer we wait, the
That's
less
not
likely
good.
this one's going to survive. And I point towards the
Wait,
dying Russians.
there's a refinery here? Like, oil refinery.
It's where the Russians have set up their base.
Okay, well that explains the big boom.
Yeah.
There's no more refinery.
Max.
Yeah.
I thought she was supposed to be in the Whangarei town.
No.
Marsden Point. We don't know where exactly.
They have a tanker they've set up as a home.
You passed that on the way here.
Oh, yeah, the one on the ocean. Yeah.
Yes.
We need to check it out
Yeah.
anyway on the way. So
Actually, in the inlet, so it wasn't in the ocean, but
Yeah,
it's
but
like
anyway.
yeah,
It's in the
right next,
water.
right next to it. Yes, in the water. Yeah.
And they've got they've got Russians at the marina, right? A group of Russians at the marina
No, that was at that place
at the at
where the boat is. That's where this larger structure was as well. But
The
you
refinery.
didn't. Yeah, you didn't go in there. The communications that you had were outside. There's essentially like a big dock where this fuel tanker is moored up to.
okay, but so the fuel tanker isn't at the refinery.
It's next to it.
Oh wow, okay. So that could be buggered as well.
We are at least distracted by whatever the hell that was. If we can make no sound, have almost no light, sort of skirt around it, we might be able to
can only
get a
try.
chance to get to the boat.
Yeah.
So you plan to start to try and make your way towards the marina.
Yeah.
Yep.
You make your way down the path that you know, the one that you travelled along with Jen. You're all being as quiet as you can. At this point, once you're on the trail, you're confident enough to turn your light off. When you came through here with Jen before, you were both moving very, very slowly and carefully in the darkness. And so, as Skulk turns off his light, what does everyone else do?
Off mine.
I don't have a light anymore.
Yeah.
Jake clicks his off.
Flick mine off as well.
Tuck mine in my belt.
Okay. You tuck yours away. You're in darkness. You stay close to each other. Like before, with your train. Once anyone gets too far away, you try and bring yourself back together again. And you start to travel down this hill, onto the streets, moving through backyards, trying to remain as quiet as possible. Do you all have some form of respirator, some kind of like filter, something to protect your... Okay,
Do the Russians?
no. Not these ones. Well, not on them.
Do we see spores or anything like that?
Yeah. They don't have any bags or anything, eh?
It's no. Ismail doesn't have one on him. You're in darkness at this stage, but you start to make your way through these city streets, through these cul-de-sacs, backyards, parks, making your way through as quietly as you can, stopping, holding yourself, you stopping people as you hear and see things ahead. Nick on point as well, noticing when he sees a shuffle, holds everyone. You all stay nice and low, as quiet as you possibly can. Everyone roll stealth for me. You're going to get a plus 20 to it, but... Nice. Jen got 69. Holy shit, what the hell? Jake got 69 as well.
There's something going on there.
Better watch it, lady.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yep.
Real reason Jake's not here tonight.
Yeah.
Well, he is kind of probably falling at 69 right now.
Anyway.
Spinning a sigil to reroll.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay.
40 pass.
26 plus.
Okay, okay. So passes all around you. Okay, all right. You use patience and you use your time to move through these streets as quietly as you possibly can. As I said before, Nick kind of being your point man, holding people back when you need to, and Skulk, you knowing the direction in which you need to go. Before long, these streets give way to one long road, and you can hear this the sloshing of the river up on this kind of stony bank. You start to make your way out onto the docks. In the darkness and in just this very, very dim light that you have, you can see the two tugboats that are moored up there. And anchored in the centre of the Whangarei River is the Second Chance.
Any lights on?
No lights on. Oh, thank God. Alright. Beside the... There is a cat going ballistic out there. Beside the tug, there is a small inflatable, which has been used by you and Jen to get out here. An inflatable that's just rowing. You start to lower yourselves into it. It's going to be a push to get everyone across in one go. Who's going to go across first? Or do you want to try and risk running everyone at the same time?
Oh, wait.
Get the Russians and
I
Vedan's
was about
over.
to say, yeah,
How would
we got injured.
tugs that we went on?
It's dark. It's hard to tell.
We went on, I'm pretty sure we went on in a motor as well. We
No, you guys came in a tugboat.
did?
Yep. Yep, powerboat stayed back at the fuel tanker.
I'll get on with the Russians and
So
first round.
Jake for
Yeah.
rowing.
Nick, Jake, the two Russians, and Vedant all load themselves into it and start to slowly and quietly make your way out towards there. And as you start to reach the Second Chance, this boat that you've seen just anchored, sitting still back at the reserve, I need everyone that's back on the shore to roll perception.
Yes. 11 pass.
32 pass.
No.
Okay, 32 pass.
So pass, we went fast.
Okay, the two of you hear a slight shifting atop one of the roofs behind you.
Like the building or like the roof of the tugboat?
No, the building behind you, the yacht club. You hear
How
like a
far
shifting,
away
it
is that
sounds like.
yacht club?
Oh, like about 2 lengths of the room.
I did want to be, while they were loading in the first boat going out, checking the fuel in the tug we came in on to see.
Okay, so no one's got any lights on at this point.
I was like, I just wanted to do a quick flick on, flick off at where I heard it.
You start walking onto this separate tug, so both Scott and Skulk are together. Jen is by you. You both hear this. Skulk, you instinctively go up towards it. As soon as you flick on the light, you see... It's very difficult to make out what it is in the flash of movement, but something,
Pale and
a
hairless.
mammalian thing, with fur, just leaps towards the light, towards you, and lets out this ungodly as it just leaps towards the light and towards the two of you.
This is what we were
We're
talking
going
about
to
last night.
It might be what we were talking about last night.
Your name is Cat.
No. We'll take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
Want to take
Yeah,
care?
I've got my weapon drawn already, so.
Okay, all right. So, what's your athletic?
Athletic is 40.
40.
Ditto.
Okay, so you're both the same? Okay. So, essentially, She's exactly the same. God damn it. Okay, so at this stage we have...
Unison, man.
Yeah, you'll have a chance to react after this first round's gone by. So, essentially we have a GM slot, and then we have 3 player slots. We'll have an additional player slot that comes in once we go around. Oh, you're also 40. Okay, so, yeah. Okay,
See, that's unison. This is great.
so this thing is leaping out.
We get bonus to everything because we're all in such
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This thing is leaping out towards the light source, just leaping off the roof down towards you. Okie dokie.
I can't provide disadvantage. Just being right next to him.
Yeah, I'll just pull you in front of me.
That's your dodge action.
Yeah. Fuck it.
What's your intention? Like, what's your
Honestly,
what's your
to
reaction to this?
Get behind Scott.
Yeah. Okay. So as you do, you start to shift behind, and this thing lands where you were. Just lands and claws into the deck. Thing looks disheveled as hell, and just looks up towards the light source, you, and the big thing that's standing in front of them, and just screams at you.
Do you want to kill it?
Do you want to roll the will check? Do you want to roll the will check?
I kill it.
You kill it? All right, kill it.
You don't.
Maybe you're a little thrown off by the nature of this thing.
I fail by 11.
Oh, that's a
96.
fail, buddy. Ooh.
Fail by 11.
You bring your axe up and you swing it down as this thing moves to the side, and it looks like it's going to try and run up the axe toward your face. As you come down, your axe just like embeds in the dock for a second as you're down in that motion. Okay, then we have.
Can I try and punt it?
Yeah, you can try and punt it.
Go for it. What's my fight? Probably not good. 40. I'll spin a sigil on this, so 65. 20 pass. That was my last sigil.
All right. 20 pass.
Yeah.
This thing, like, your foot starts to come in and it just leaps to the side as your foot hits air, and you kind of lose sight of it for a second in that darkness.
Hey, you got air.
Jen, with a knife out, starts to try and attack this thing. And she misses. This thing is running around circles right now, trying to find a point to attack. At this point, Dan, you know something's going on. You're close enough to take an action. Nick, as you guys are rowing back towards the second chance, and Vidan, you're aware of this as well, you can hear this thing just screaming, and it's a near constant scream now. There are a few breaks in its scream, but it's mostly just this. It's not
You can also see my flashlight.
It's not a pleasant sound. And yeah, there's flashlights going around as well. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring out my big gun.
You hear Jake say, "Fuck off." Because, like, essentially, like, you're sitting at the front of the boat, like, yeah. Jake's rowing, and, like, you bring out the rifle, and he's just like, no, mate, no.
I'm not gonna shoot, I'm just looking. I'm gonna use the optics
and then shoot.
Use the optics to look.
I don't know if it's night vision.
So far, it's looking like a scramble. It's difficult to tell what's going on. But yeah, you can kind of get a little bit of a beat on what's happening. Nick, on the boat, you are aware that something is going down on the shore. Yep. Too.
Do we have the night vision binocs?
Yes.
I will try and look through those.
Okay, it's a little bit blinding when you see the kind of lightsaber beam of the flashlight going around. You can see them. It looks like they're trying to hit something small, maybe a cat. It's difficult to tell, but this is the thing you're pretty sure that's making all the noise.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to go, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what's going on there. We need to drop this off and go back.
A light turns on the second chance. A very small light, but you see a light flick on. Dan, what are you doing?
Get that torch out of my belt.
Yeah.
Start looking for keys to this thing.
Okay. You actually know where the keys to this thing are. Yeah.
I know they're on the boat or they're on somebody's body back 20 minutes that way.
They're on Ismail's body.
Dang. He said we came in a rowboat, so that means we have paddles.
Well, they came in a row. We
Yeah. Jen and Skulk came in a rowboat from the Second Chance. You came in a tugboat.
That's what I was saying, a motorboat, right?
no tug.
Yes, it is an engine. It is a boat.
Yeah,
It has
which
a
is
thing.
a motorboat, and you guys said no.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about the power boat that we initially traveled
It has a motor, so it's a motorboat.
Yes.
Yes, you know a lot about motorboating. We know, Scott.
Fucking arguing. We love arguing
There you
semantics.
go.
Alright.
Yes, so Dan, yes.
Does this thing have walls? They sometimes.
This is a tugboat.
Yeah, they might.
This is a tugboat.
Yeah.
A
It's a big
many-ton tugboat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does not. Yeah, this tugs the fuel tanker
Yeah.
that you saw.
Yeah.
This is the level of how big this tug is.
Right.
I mean, you know where Ismail's body is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a dinghy out there.
Yeah.
It's a body. I'm gonna check to see if he's alive.
He will be soon.
Dun dun dun.
Oh.
Oh, that face. Alright. I am. I'm just gonna take a wild stab and see if I can just rip these wires out the back of the thing and see if I can.
Roll luck for me. It's going to be minus 40.
Minus 40.
Do you have a sigil to spend?
I do.
There you go. It's only minus 15 then.
Or critically succeeded it.
Yeah, I could correctly succeed it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Correctly succeeded.
Let's try that sigil.
And if you fail, tell me how much you fail by.
Yeah. So it's minus 15, so I fail by 16.
Oh,
Okay. That's 16 is a...
right.
Yeah. You feel a little bit of a jolt hit you in the chest. You take a minor wound to the torso as electricity passes through your hands and into your torso as you try to start this thing. It is minor.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, but it was just like a... fuck. Engine didn't start.
Nope.
It did not. That is you. Back around to the top. The tippity top.
Who's it going for?
It's still trying to make it up the axe of the guy whose axe went down. It's going for your... Well, it's going for you. We'll see if it gets anything. Wow, magnificent. What are you going to try and do? As you start to, like, bring your axe up, you're going to try and oppose...
I'm just gonna oppose it and just try fling it like it's on my.
Yeah, it's going towards it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's gonna be my opposition.
All right, cool.
59 success.
59 success. It's a really decent success. Yeah, it comes in towards you, and as it like gets its like claws onto that back, you just you bring the axe up and out the way. It kind of a little bit cartwheels, and then it kind of like lands back on its feet, just looking back up towards you, still just because I know you love that sound. Okay, Skulk.
No.
Oh, Scott.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, Scott, you can go if you want. Or Skulk, you can just try to
I'm gonna go.
I'll go and punt it again.
I'm gonna try hit it.
kick this thing. Try hit it. Yes, try.
60 success.
Nice. Alright, that's pretty cool. It fails by 44.
So it's
So it's limb destroyed head.
It's just, you... For Jen that's close, I mean, like, you can kind of hear a little bit what's going on. Nick, through your night vision, you can see a little bit. You, through the scope, you can kind of see this thing. It's just staring at Scott, just... and you just bring this axe down, and you cleanly cleave this thing's head into oblivion as you embed it and the axe into the deck, and you bring it back out and just. And she's like, "You okay?"
Yeah, I don't know. Bottom's just always freaked me out.
Agreed. Okay. Oh, I think he's okay. And Jen looks over towards the second chance, and there's a light on, and you can see the silhouette of someone standing on the back of it, looking up towards the rest of you. For the time, the area grows silent. The rowing continues. And before long, after a few good strides, a few good strokes, Jake gets the boat up alongside it. There, waiting for you, a man in a Hawaiian shirt with a ponytail. "Let me give you a hand." Reaches down. "Oh, lost that one again, did you?"
Yeah.
"It's a shame, we'll fix that, don't worry." And then helps you back up and into the boat.
I've got the prosthetic in the other hand.
Alright, Charles then helps both Nick and Jake out, and the two limp folks who are getting dragged onto here with them.
They're gonna need medical attention.
Jake starts to row back towards the shore. You all wait anxiously.
I'm watching for anything that heard that fight.
Yeah. You're looking up.
I would be in the boat with Jake,
Jake?
I would imagine.
Great.
If I'm back on the boat, I will sit myself down somewhere where I've got, like, where I look out.
Before we left, though, I'd make sure, I'd say, keep an eye on this one and point to the Russian that I was carrying. He could die. He might turn.
I'll do what I can. I'll try.
I've sort of propped myself up.
Yeah.
And using the scope, just sort of keeping an eye out on the shoreline.
Yeah, so you can actually see Charles. He just rummages around in there in a container for a little bit, and then brings something out, straps it onto his head, and then puts on a little head torch, and he starts having a look at the Russian, pulls out a first aid kit, starts having a look and doing what he can, or at least trying to understand exactly what's happened here. And after a little while, there is a, "Oh, fuck." And you can see once he's removed the bag that's been wrapped around his hand and sees the extent of his injury there.
I'll also say to Charles, once you're done with them, I might have an injury to sort of get looked at. It's not as serious as that, but...
Sure, I will, and we'll get that leg back on as well.
They can wait.
Alright. Okay. Dan, you keep a lookout. Your eyes are peeled. The rest of you just looking out, just... Your heart's, starting to settle a little bit now. This thing still sitting there on the dock, just its head kind of smashed in, very patchy fur. Nothing left of its head. It's a mess. But before long, the inflatable makes it back. You all get yourselves in, pulling your equipment down into it, and you start to row back out. Getting onto the second chance, getting helped up, feels good to be back on this thing. Actually feels good to be on the water. There is an element of safety for some of you.
Yeah, I was saying, I lost my
For
arm
the rest
at
of you, sometimes the water isn't as kind. And for you, Skulk, it's definitely one of those things where...
Don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he came all the way out here, it says a lot about how much he actually cares about you guys.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Tough crowd.
He goes with guns.
What happens in narrative or time skip doesn't count.
Okay. So, you lock yourselves up onto this boat. The inflatable's brought up as well and it's secured on the back. You all take a moment, just kind of staying here, staying anchored before trying to move on. Is there anything you wish to discuss before the engines get started? Your leg is being seen to at the moment, and
My prosthetic or
Yes,
my...
as in the prosthetic. Yeah. Yes, but the wound can get looked at the same time.
Yeah, so I would have
Yeah.
told Charles to look at the wound before the prosthetic because
Okay.
I don't know what caused it.
Yeah. It's
Very comfortable
yeah.
that the...
it's a small incision. It looks like. Yeah.
I'm still not very comfortable.
Yeah.
with it.
It's
No,
tough to tell what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, he does. What was the source of the
Baby ninja predator zombies.
Okay.
They seemed... It seemed intelligent. It's difficult to tell what it made it with. Could be its nails, could be a bite, could be a stabbing implement.
Alright.
But yeah, I'd rather... I want it looked at to just know if I'm in for a rough night, effectively.
Of course. Don't worry. We'll take good care of you. And he starts to like...
Now that the rain stopped,
Charles looks up towards you with like a serious look on his face, just... There, all done. That's good.
now that the rain stopped, we should be careful for those spores again. We shouldn't take our... We should all have respirators on and not take them off until we're well out of range of town. Don't know if you saw them on the way in, but
No,
should be careful.
it was darker when we made it here. Alright, we'll be careful as we can be. I'll get her started up and
Yeah, I'm already at the top, so...
be on our way. He goes and joins you up the top there in the cabin. A cabin which is sealed from the outside.
Go up to the cabin as well.
Okay, you climb on up.
I would have started the pre-check bollocks
Yep,
while I was waiting for everyone.
Okay, yep, making sure that everything is good to go. Alright, you make your way up there as well. Everyone else is kind of on the lower levels at this point. Jen's at the back of it, kind of keeping a lookout, just staying alert. Jake, same thing. He's just kind of looking out still, nervously. Respirator on. You're just going to stay up the top?
Yeah, if I can get to the side of Charles.
Yep.
Just gonna go up beside him and just ask, like, what's up?
He seems to be unsure about the nature of his injury. If it is anything, if he could be potentially infected, we should keep an eye on him. Should he get feverish or just safety?
Okay, cool. I was a bit worried. I thought you might have known something.
No, more. I just wanted to be sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Alright. Good. Where to then?
Home.
Home?
Yeah.
I can do home.
Did you? I would know on the way back home. We walk past the oil rig area, right?
Yes, it's where the tugboats came from originally, and yeah. All right, onwards then. He starts it up, and you start making your way down the river. Once it actually does start, the light's gone on front, keeping an eye on the water out in front, scanning as you make your way down the river. And it's quiet all around you, just the engine turning over. You all kind of like have a bit of a sigh of relief, and then I need every single one of you to roll perception.
Nope.
Oh,
69.
no.
I know, we're
It's
all
challenging.
97, fail.
Oh,
Nick
first
failed.
perception fail.
Guess what? 97 fail.
Wow.
87 fail.
Oh wow, we ain't noticing shit.
90 fail.
I got 69 fail.
Sleep.
Jake succeeds with a 16. Thank you, Jake.
Good.
Thank you, Jake. Jake's downstairs with the others. As I said, he was looking out the back, and You see him kind of like, he's turning his head around.
See something?
No, I can hear, I think, it might be gunfire. And a cat. It's distant though, it's distant. No, that way. And he points up. Back up the hill.
Where we came from.
Where you came from. Small bursts of gunfire. Distant. But noticeable now that's been pointed out to you.
Sounds like one person with a gunfire, or a lot of people with a gunfire.
It's hard to tell. It's not constant. It's bursts. It grows more and more faint as you power up the river. Further away from this point. Decent.
So decent enough that binocs won't work anymore. That far away.
Well, you don't know to look up there. You're up in the cabin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying that he's got them. Jake's got them.
Jake's got them. Yeah, no, I know. No, it's complete darkness up in that direction. You can't even see the glow of the fire. Looking up in that direction, there is just hills. Dark hills. You carry on traveling. Further down this river. The lights at the front of the Second Chance start to pick up something dancing in the night air. Like dust in a home being captured in a sunbeam. In the darkness, these lights out the front of the boat are capturing the same substance you saw in the air rolling across the river earlier.
Where are the Russians? They're just out on the deck with us?
Yes.
I don't think I'll sleep at this point. Like, it's all set up.
Yeah.
I've still got the respirator.
Okay. You're actually probably, if you're sleeping, there's below deck. Which, in actual fact, is where the Russians would have been taken.
Yeah, I would
Below
have
deck.
if I wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
And...
just sitting around with Dan and the rest of it, just doze off.
Okay.
Is there a door to below deck, or...?
No, but there are doors below deck in each of the rooms that are down there.
Oh, you got duct tape and a tarp.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to seal that off. Just so we get into a big cloud of this stuff.
Sealing them downstairs, Verdant as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So you get one of those tarps out of the bag?
I'll get Jake to help me because I can't do that one.
Okay, yep. So you and Jake are staying on the second level. Verdant and the two Russians are on the bottom level of the boat. And you seal it off, duct taping around the top. As Jake, with his full get up on, goes and just sits back down on the back and is just kind of looking back out, back towards where you came from, back towards where he heard that gunfire. And just kind of, he's silently looking off in that direction as this stuff just swirls silently all around the boat. And as you pass through it, eventually it subsides, then comes back again, and subsides again. It's small pockets drifting through the air.
Did we go through it this heavily on the way in?
Didn't seem like it, but it was during the daytime, so it might have been more difficult to tell.
Were we able to get, just like with it swirling around us, get a better look at what it looks like? Try and...
Yeah, if you want to have light on the back as well.
Yeah, with a hand at it, or try and, yeah, get a good...
Yeah, so because like you guys are all kind of moving around in the dark out the back. Those of you in the cabin, you're just illuminated by the controls that are in there. Yep, light on. Start looking around, looking at. It's hard to get. It's almost insubstantial. It's like it doesn't rest somewhere for long. Moving your hand through it, you can't seem to collect anything. But with your light on, you can definitely see that there are particles in the air.
So pretty much it's just a very fine sort of powder, really light dust kind of quality.
Seems to be.
What color?
Almost colourless. Not enough of it to really get a colour, just because, especially when it's being hit by the light, the light's giving it colour. There's no overall kind of colour to it, from what you're able to tell. No bright yellows. And the boat continues further up until you start to see orange in the distance. The rising sun, but it's too early for the rising sun. It's not the sun. But there is a glow coming from Marsden Point, the home of the Russians. And your boat powers closer and closer towards it.
I just tell Charles keep a fair distance. We don't know if any oil leaked into the water. And if that catches light, we can all be gone.
Well, I don't plan to stop, so... Keeps on. Going. Pulling the boat over to the far side of the river. And continues ever closer. Those clouds, they're still with you, occasionally drifting in front of the boat. Didn't drift this far before. You didn't notice them at all during the day. But Dan, you're still awake at this stage. Scott, you're still awake at this stage up the top. They weren't this far. They were much more closer to the main township of Whangarei. It's difficult to tell in the cabin, but on the mid-deck, where the rest of you are, where Jake, Nick and Dan are, the wind is picking up. It's not fierce, but it's definitely blowing a lot stronger than it was when you first came through. You travel closer to Marsden Point. Those flames are now visible. You can see them licking just above rooftops. The glow is there, and there is just this massive plume of smoke that's rising up from near there. You still can't see the actual refinery itself, or the ship, but there is a glow. And there are flames.
I turn my walkie and start scrolling through channels, see if anything pops up.
Okay. Roll luck for me.
Also, I'm just kind of over in the clouds still.
Oh, it's still with you, so...
No.
No? Okay. There are bits where you think there might have... You caught the end of something, potentially. You stay on that frequency for a while. You don't hear anything else. So you just spend your time just kind of scrolling through. And it takes a while to go through all the different frequencies and listen for a second. And just hope that, you're going to get one of them while they're transmitting using the search function, trying everything that you can on there. What were you wanting to try?
I want to get a lighter out of my pack and see if this dust interacts with the flame in any way, if it seems to burn or sizzle or any kind of Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Aerated powders tend to go bang.
You hear Nick say that as you take out a lighter.
What if it is spores?
If it's something that's got high energy, it'll just explode. So like even custard, if you throw custard powder in the air and ignite it, it'll go bang.
That is true.
You know?
Yeah, I'll put the light
Oh, I
on.
would.
Just in case.
You stir the lighter. You
Spores
start
it
to
shouldn't,
settle.
but yeah, that we don't want that.
As you start to get closer to Marsden Point, you start hearing pops. Sounds like it could be gunfire.
Could be any type of container exploding under the heat.
Did that rifle I took off Smell have a sight on it? Or was that just a sort of medium range kind of weapon?
Medium. No sight. It's a Kalashnikov. It's AK-47. Okay. You start to near the point. And as you start to get closer, you can see there is an almighty blaze lighting up the night sky. Charles looks over towards you and you. Should we try to kill the lights?
Oh, that, yes.
Alright. Leans across. Lights go off.
Put some lead into it. Let's get past as quickly as possible.
Starts accelerating. You do have a little bit of sight because of the glow from this. You start to power towards it, closer and closer. There is a small island in your path that's illuminated that Charles navigates around, taking it slowly, going around the far side of it, trying to stick to the coast, but not too close to that side. You can see the opening that opens up out towards the ocean. To your right hand side, you can see parts of the refinery. It was well lit when you came through before. Even in the evening, it was lit. Here, there are no lights on, but there is a blaze. And you can't see the source of it directly, but it seems like it could possibly be where there is a large amount of something being stored. Don't know if it was fuel or if it was some other kind of resource, but there was something being stored that is just absolutely blazing up a storm. You can hear shouts. People like shouting, calling to each other. You can hear those pops. Sounds like gunfire. And you can hear a loudspeaker. Like loud. But you can't quite make out the words that are being spoken. Someone's speaking in English, but it's one of those things where it's distant. You know that someone's speaking over like a loudspeaker of some kind, but you can't quite make out what those words are.
Can you make out the voice of the speaker?
It's very distorted. And you are all quite far away.
I say to Scott and Charles.
As you're drifting past now at this point, just like he's bringing it up, but he's trying to also be aware that he doesn't want to draw attention to you.
Yeah, I say to Scott and Charles, looks like Auckland got here quicker than we thought.
Tanker itself isn't on fire?
No.
Our person was on the tanker.
You have a person on the tanker. I thought we were going home.
We should be.
So you're downstairs right now,
Oh, you're right now.
mid-deck. It's just
Yeah, I say we
These
should
two
be.
and one other
Any
up there.
unexploded oil there could go off any second now, and if we're there, we're dead. Not to mention if that is actually Auckland.
I
She don't
didn't
wanna step
know that
into a
you had
gunfight.
someone up there.
She was really heavily injured by an affected attack we had at the base.
The girl that went earlier, she's on there.
Yes. She was being looked at, and we were collecting those Russians downstairs for them in exchange for medical attention.
Were you?
But
Are we passing the tanker at the moment?
Oh yeah, yeah. They were nowhere near it before.
We can't risk it, mate.
We're sitting towards the front, trying to...
Going towards the... So there is a ladder in the centre that goes up towards the top. She start pulling herself up as I knock into things.
We'll be stepping into a war zone that could explode any second.
oh, do I hear someone coming up?
Yeah, you hear someone climbing up the ladder.
Good, Dan. We were just talking about the tanker.
Our approach is all wrong. If we were wanting to before, why are you telling me this now?
Yeah, we can't take the second chance close.
Turning around is always an option, but I'm not sure if it's safe to do so.
No, it's not. Even if like you take the paddle one out, I mean,
It is.
like we can't wait for you because if it is Auckland and they finish off the Russians, they turn any spotlight onto the water, they'll see us. And if they see the paddle boat coming here,
I know Max knows
System
where
had
we
slowed
are.
down.
If everything works out, she gets the medical attention and she restores to health again. She knows where we are.
This is Auckland. The Russians didn't have a lot of supplies. That was the point of us going out. They're going to get overwhelmed.
more of a reason not for us to go.
Can we make out any... We're too far away to make out people or movement from the shore.
Yeah, too far down, and also you're too low to be able to see anything that's kind of going off the tanker.
Or even
The makeshift walls that they have up along the outside make it so that you can't really see much going on actually inside as well.
Because literally going in, like just even disregarding what Skulk's saying.
Yeah.
If we go in, we're literally joining whatever they're dealing with.
And anyone can shoot at us. The Russians might not know who we are in the middle of the night. Auckland will shoot at anyone they see.
I
Yeah.
feel we should have perhaps had this discussion before we're right at the precipice of this.
It's too late now.
I need to talk to the dad. Can we at least not float out of here for a minute or so?
We'll be sitting ducks.
Can you
where we
park
are
on the other
right
side of
now.
the island?
I can spin it back round.
Oh no.
Because at this point, you kind of already drifted around to the island. You can see the opening out towards the ocean.
Let's just cut the engines for like literally 1 minute.
We'll drift, but we'll only drift slightly. We have time.
I bolt down that ladder. I'm gonna head downstairs and
Okay.
find this one.
You bolt downstairs. Nick, you see Dan come back. The engines have stopped at this point, and Dan goes over towards where the tarp enclosure is and starts untaping it and going downstairs. As you
Okay.
make your way downstairs towards where Verdant and the...
I will follow, yeah.
Okay. Both of you roll perception as you go downstairs.
12, pass.
91 fail.
Dan, you hear like heavy breathing that puts you on edge for a moment, and Nick, same thing. You hear a then you find the source, and the source is Verdant, who has a superpower of falling asleep incredibly quickly. Like, faster than any human being I've known possible. That man is fast asleep.
I'm tired.
I give him just a quick swift kick in the side to wake him up.
Jeez.
Not a hard one.
Hey, no, what's up?
Refinery's on fire. It looks like it might be Auckland. And we're thinking of going past.
I'm wide awake at that point.
If this is Eden, and Max is still in there.
There's more of a reason for us to go in there, because if this is Eden,
And if we go in, these guys will be leaving us behind.
the whole point of this was to save Max. The whole point of coming out here, the whole point of getting out of wherever we were was to save Max.
Good. Alright.
So, if it is what it is, then
I'll start heading upstairs.
I'll follow. I'm assuming my prosthetic's been reattached for this one, right?
It has, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So then I grab my rifle, grab the pack.
You start making your way upstairs. Nick, you hear all of this as well. You hear them having this little talk as you're waiting out there.
I'll head back towards the wheel run.
Okay.
On these guys.
Start making your way back towards the cabin at the top. Climbing back up, it's a little crowded in there. Once the rest of you get up there, and Jake is kind of at the bottom of the ladder, looking up, listening in.
If
Jen's at the bottom as well.
I can't leave Max here, not with how underprepared those Russians were. And especially if it's our Auckland pass that's somehow coming back, then we can't leave her to get found by them. That will not go well for her.
Let's just say that if Auckland, if it's our Auckland, if it's Eden, if they find Max, I hope they find her dead.
I wouldn't blame any of you for not wanting to get involved in that, because what's happening over there is clearly some kind of clusterfuck. But I can't just leave that. The chances that it's a whole bunch of stuff coming from our past to screw with all of this. I have to at least try to pull Max out of there, get away from. If there's any remote chance it's Eden, I can't leave her to that.
DM question. When we were passing, did we see any fire in the water?
In the water, no. It was on land. Some part.
Inland? Or
some part of the refinery. You couldn't see it directly, but you could see it licking up above the outer fences.
We know what we're doing.
Because I'm trying to just judge risk based on how far from the water I saw fire.
Yeah, but it can spread to the water any time.
It's not on the water. It's behind the fence. It's difficult from this angle to determine where it would be.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even picture the base, to be honest.
No, exactly. It's pitch black.
No, I mean, when we were there, I can't remember.
No. Yeah, I know.
It didn't show us what it was like, so I don't know.
Well, no, you only saw on the actual on the fuel tanker itself. You never actually crossed into the refinery.
How far was the fence from the container?
As like a vague memory, it would be maybe like
a day ago, wasn't it?
2 lengths of the drive.
Oh, so ages away then.
What's a dock?
Okay.
Just okay?
No, not okay. We can't. Both of them will start shooting at us. Well, Russians might.
That's why you've got to take it as a stealth mission if you go.
Yeah, we can't take.
Try and get in.
We can't take the second chance.
I'm not saying we take the second chance then.
Your paddle boat's going to take you ages to get in and out. and you're going to be sitting ducks if anybody looks out at the water.
Not necessarily. We came here on a boat. That means that they've got a boat there.
That boat might still be in the dock.
Yeah, you still have to paddle that way, though.
That was a power boat.
Yeah,
The one that came and picked us up originally.
To get away. That's
Yeah.
Potentially.
Well, we've got a fast getaway.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, well.
We've left one person behind today. Skulk, you had a point. Or was it Scott? Can't remember. One of you. You said she knows where we are, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that point enough as well?
That's why I'm suggesting we're going.
Yep.
We've got a lot of people back there we want to keep safe. Could be a win-win.
Yeah. Or they could kill most of us, take the rest of us prisoner, and still know where we are.
I'm not asking you to go.
I'm not saying like we all should go, because I'm definitely not going, but I'm just saying it's way too risky for us to go. If you're saying, oh, one person knows where we are, they capture 3 of you, they will definitely find us.
It's a risk.
Well, if it's me and the dad, and this turns out to be Eden, they won't be finding out where you are. There will be a whole bunch of much worse stuff coming for us before they even think about asking about you.
Secondly, if it's Eden, then we're a distraction enough. If it's Eden, then you guys...
Worst case is we can buy you a...
Exactly.
They don't care about you. They don't know who... Unless the Russians have told them something, they wouldn't care about you.
And the Russians very well could have already told them that there is another group in this area.
Sounds like they're fighting.
This is even assuming it's Auckland.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Could
They
it
were-
be just mutiny?
Only one way to find out what it is.
Okay.
Um,
I'm happy to if it's not Auckland or it's a different kind of Auckland or any of that. I'm fine to just, with the exception of leaving Max in the middle of it, to just leave. I don't want to get involved in any of their crap. I'm not going to give my life for their problems, but
I want to get Max out. It's regardless of whether it's Eden or not. I want to get Max out. I don't
Yeah.
care that much. If it's Eden, and if Ethan's in there, I want to see that motherfucker one more time. So either way, I'm going in there, be it with all of you, which I would very much appreciate. But that being said, you've already done enough. If you decide to walk away from this, I won't hold any grudges. I won't hold that against you.
we're not your problem. You've only just met us. Just including Max in this deal and getting her here was, and that's kindness enough for people you didn't really know.
I've listened to a voice over my shoulder once today. And I've
There's
regretted
no
it.
difference.
This
There's no
time,
difference. 3 people knowing where we are, 5 people knowing where we are. So if you guys are going, then we basically ensure we can help ensure the success. If we fail, 3 people versus 5 people knowing where the base is or where we're stationed.
That's
leaked
assuming
anyway.
if
that information's done.
that's assuming if they capture us and if we talk.
Exactly. What I'm saying is there is no difference between sending 3 and sending 5 people as far as what happens to failure, but there is to what happens to success. The implication from failing doesn't get any worse.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you're going, I'll come with you.
That's much appreciated.
be welcomed.
Do you have anything left in that bag of trick of yours?
Bag of tricks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got 2 more grenades.
I've got a bag I haven't even looked inside yet.
I've got 2 grenades and enough ammo to fight this big thing quite a few times.
Well, it sounds like you've all... Sounds like this is happening, in a way. But I think you're right in that some of us do need to stay. Make sure that this is something that you can actually come back to. I pass it around at once. And bring us around backside of that smaller island. Put the anchor up. That'll give you a chance to get over there. You would stay to keep this... All right. I'm going to start turning her around. And the engines roll back up. The second chance turns around, placing itself around the backside of a small island just across from Colm, Marsden Point, where the Russians call home. You start to prepare yourselves as best you can, gathering what equipment you have, gathering your wits. Eating. Reading yourselves. For in the next, you'll be taking that small inflatable across the way. But that'll be in the next. Thank you all for joining us. I've been Rycon. This has been our team of survivors. And until next time, stay breathing.